LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up trans rights. Transgender men form compliance crews to protest state bathroom laws. Groups of masculine, bearded, transgender men across states like Kansas are forming compliance crews to enter women's public restrooms, intentionally complying with state-mandated bathroom laws to highlight the confusion and security flaws created by the legislation. The coordinated actions target state laws that legally mandate individuals to use government-owned public facilities based strictly on biological sex assigned at birth rather than gender identity. By visibly entering women's facilities at libraries, state buildings, and public venues, as the law requires, participants report causing immediate confusion among patrons and staff, frequently resulting in police dispatch and uncomfortable enforcement interactions. Organizers maintain that these peaceful compliance demonstrations expose the inherent absurdity of the statutes, proving that enforced birth sex mandates decrease facility security, heighten public panic, and create enforcement chaos for local law enforcement. Well, I could have told you that, and that's way above my pay grade to even know that. That's what these lawmakers want to do. They want to create public instability. They want to create public chaos so that when these butch female to male people go into these men's bathrooms with these, you saw in the pictures, they have these long beards, they're butch men, they present as men, they have to go into these women's bathrooms because they were born female at birth. They go into these bathrooms and it causes panic amongst the biological females. And that's what these lawmakers want. They want the police to come out there. They want, no pun intended, they want these female to male transgender people to be manhandled. They want them to be arrested simply for existing. They want them to be causing a public disturbance. They want them to talk back a little bit. They want them to be sassy. They want them to, they want fodder to be able to say, you see, it's these queers. I'm spitting, I'm so angry. It's these queers that are causing society to break down, and the best place for them is not around us, and preferably not in our state. So
I love the point, and they're knowingly calling it absurd. They're knowingly calling these laws absurd, and they're doing it intentionally. And I love that kind of, it's not really silent protest, but that kind of like ironic resistance backwards protest like thing. I love it.
Fine, you want me to go in there? I'll go in there.
Yeah, because that's what you want. I'll do it.
These transgendered people, they don't really have to do that. They pass quite well as men. And they are men, you know. They might have been born female at birth, assigned female at birth. They pass quite well as men. They have beards. They're on testosterone, obviously. Nobody would question their sexual or their gender identity. They're doing this to prove a point.
Right.
They're doing this as a form of resistance to say, look, this is really messed up what the government is forcing on transgendered people. Now, not to be the contrarian that I am, it's those people that maybe are not far along in their transition process, that maybe have not started whatever hormone therapy or transition or whatever, that just say maybe one day, I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to dress in the opposite, dress, and I would like you to call me female now, and I'm going to go into that bathroom. So I think that there's this kind of boogie person, I don't want to say boogeyman, but there's this kind of boogie person that lawmakers kind of envision, that there are these predators out there that are simply not really going through with gender transition and are simply just men in dresses that are trying to infiltrate women's spaces. Do I believe that that's true? No. Do I believe that there are sick people out there that might try something? Maybe 1 in a million, but do I think it's pervasive? No.
They're creating a fictitious foil, or you know,
absolutely,
just to promote things. But I think ultimately it is a strong show of confidence when you can defy traditions like this in the way that they're doing it.
Sure. Well, that is an LGBTQ 1-minute news story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world, and I've checked. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.